Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to look at Vlookup and Hlookup. We have some different data here, two different data sets. We have some financial information here by month, which is the P&L or income statement. Then we also have some test scores here by subject and person. So let's go ahead and start off with Vlookup. If you're not familiar with how to do a Vlookup, the easiest way is to go up to your ribbon in the command bar, go to formulas and the lookup and reference section. And all the way at the bottom there's a Vlookup function that you can click. So the first argument is the lookup value. This has to be found in the first column of the table, and it can be a value, reference, or text string. So we're going to, let's start out with looking up the taxable income, and I'm entering this in parentheses so it evaluates it as text, quotations, entering it with quotations. So the table array is your data set. So again, the data table has to include, the first column has to include what you're looking up. So you'll want to reference this first column that has sales, costs, etc., since we're looking up taxable income. And I hit F4 here to lock the table reference. So next is the column index number. Let's say we want to return March data. So we want to look up taxable income for March. So we will get this 15804 number. So as we can see, since we started our reference to our table in column E, that is our first column number. So we have second, third, fourth, and fifth would be March. So let's put a 5 here. And we want an exact match, so we'll hit false. The only time you'd use true is if you have sorted ascended data and looking for a non-exact match. So we're done with this argument and this function. Let's hit OK. So as you can see, we have taxable income in March at 15804. So that matches what we have here. What we can do now is make this dynamic, and this is the power of Excel. So what you would want to do is copy and paste your formula into this section here, and our lookup value is now dynamic by referencing this cell here. And we can go ahead and lock the column. So I hit F4 again when I'm in the argument to lock just the column. So you can see here, just the column is locked, but not the row. So there's not a $sign in front of the row number. Our table array is static. We've locked it, so that's the same. However, we want to reference these new column index numbers here at the top. So I just click there, and I'm going to lock the row in this case, since I don't want it to go up or down from here. However, I want it to be able to move across, so the column can move across when we drag it over and reference these different arguments here, or lookup values. So we're set here. So you can copy this and then paste it. So we can see that this is a dynamic version of the Vlookup. So by testing this out, we can look up sales for October, and we see that there are $54,684 in sales for that month, and the rest checks out. So now the Hlookup is just the horizontal lookup. It's very similar to Vlookup. So here we can just hit enter, equals, and then type HL and start typing the name of the function. And this is typically the quickest way to enter a formula into an Excel spreadsheet. So once we do this, if we're kind of going to finish typing it out, the easiest way is to complete this is to just hit the tab key. So if you hit tab, that will finish the function and complete it for you. So again, the first value to look up in this function has to be in the first row instead of the first column, like the VLOOKUP. So let's say we want to look up a certain month's data. So let's shoot for May here. So let's say we want to look up May. So we've got May here. And then we want to include that first lookup value in our first row of our data set. So once again, we'll highlight this data set here and lock it, hitting F4. So you can see that locked it. And then our row index number. Let's say we want to return operating income, which would be row number 6 within our data set. So if we hit a 6 here, and again, we want an exact match, so we hit enter false. Alternatively, you can actually enter 0, and it's the same thing. If you wanted to do a true lookup or an estimated one, the data would have to be sorted again, and you could enter a 1, but we want to enter 0. So as we can see here for May operating income, we have $21,624, and that matches what we got here. So again, we can copy this formula and we can make it dynamic. So instead of just referencing one cell, we could reference this cell here and lock the row. We have our table array locked, and we could reference an index number. So we could actually enter a 6 or some other number here. So let's say we want to look up tax. That would be a 9. That's our row number within our table. And let's hit enter. So we'll change this to tax. And we can copy it over to get April's number. So we can see April tax is $56.74. There's another way to make this more dynamic, however we could save that for another video. Here's the more simplified version. Let's say we want to make this dynamic again. We can enter a subject. Let's say we want to look up math scores and want to return it for Peter. So we could actually, let me change the formatting here. So we want to do a VLOOKUP. We want to look up Peter within this table. And again, we'll reference the table here. You can reference it including your headers or without the headers. It doesn't matter here. So we will lock this. And again, we want to return math. So that is column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 within our data set. And we want an exact match. So I need to change the formatting. But you can see his score was a 58 in math. So if we look at Peter and the math score, we get a 58. So again, the first value or argument within the function lookup value has to be within the first column, and that's Peter. And our table has that first column that we're trying to look up. And then that column index number is number 5 for math. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and there will be more videos to come. Thank you.